So I'm just going to play it on the fiddle a couple times through, and you can play along with me. You know it now, right? Not too fast. Okay, Thomas, that is a good question. Am I using proprietary picking patterns? No, I don't. I know some people are very pedantic about picking and bowing patterns, but I just kind of take them as they come. And if I find something that works, I might repeat it, but I'm not even going to remember what I did. Some things, you know, require certain cross picking. And just like on the fiddle, some tunes require a very specific bowing for a tiny passage, but the rest of it is purely organic, I think. You know, it's just my own habitual ways of doing things, and I bow them different, sometimes all the way through, sometimes, but depending on the mood, you might bow the tune differently, who knows. But so yeah, there's not really a pattern to that bowing. Exterminate, exterminate. Exterminate all accordion players, yes. This is an ornery one. I've never seen an orange Dalek on Doctor Who. There were various colors. This one seemed to attract my attention. All right, so now I will get the guitar out and just kind of hum the tune a little bit. Now this is interesting because it doesn't. I'm only using 2 chords on this because that's what was on the Andy Dejarlis. It's a very simple thing. But the interesting thing is it switches to the 5 chord. It's only 1 and 5, or G and D7, or just G and D, it switches to the 5 chord in the middle of the bar though a few times. So that makes it a little bit interesting, but you can hear that it needs to do that. It's not something I would have normally done, but it's interesting, so I'm just going to follow along with what the Andy Dejarlis, I think it was a piano player, was doing on the recording I listened to. I've written it out. And so we just need G, and these are, you know, Mel Bay Book 1 chords, like I always like to say. So you just need G and D. That's what I was talking about. Just switch in the middle of the bar. So usually it'd be 2, 1, 2, 2, 2, 1, 2. No, but not this guy, because they're following the melody very precisely, which is something we don't do in Missouri usually, but I'm doing it their way, so that it's an accurate representation of what Andy Dejarlis did. So switch back. See, I went back to the G before I was ready for bar 5. So in the middle of bar 4, so in the middle of bar 2, I go to the 5 chord. In the middle of bar 4, I go back to the 1 chord. And so and then in the middle of bar 7, I go back to the D. So it's a little bit odd from what you might be used to. I've got, just print out the music on Patreon, and there are the chords, or you could do a screenshot. But so that's the only thing odd about the tune. Actually, if you didn't do that, you'd still be okay. Now, you know, I'm not going to belabor the guitar part here today a lot, but if you, what am I trying to say? If you're wondering about the bass runs and all that, go and the alternating bass. You haven't watched much of the guitar videos yet, but go back to the guitar for Duffer's part and find the section that's got the key of G. It might be one of the first ones, and I'll show you there all the ins and outs of the alternating bass on those two chords. But for now, that's the main sticking point on this tune, is that we're making these switches in the middle of the bars. So you'll hear that. I did post, and I will, when I repost these videos, I did put up the Andy Dejarlis link to the Andy Dejarlis recording on YouTube. Listen to that. You'll hear what I mean by him switching ahead, a beat ahead of where you might normally in most fiddle tunes make that switch, okay? All right, I think that's it for today, folks. Thanks, everyone, for joining me here, and hope you like this tune of the Hopping Rabbit, the Rabbit's Leap, whatever you want to call it. And you can say it in French if you want to. I don't care. I think my pronunciation would be good enough. Knowing that I'm an American, they'd look at me and, yeah, I think I know what tune you want. And if nothing else, you can always just play the tune, because you don't need the words to play the tune with. We've found when we go up there, we don't have any trouble getting around.